In 2008, the first African American was elected President of the United States. This was a pretty groundbreaking event that gave Americans a new look on our country. This all happened because of many people in history who have risked their lives and stood for things that no one else have before. In 1916, Jeannette Rankin ran for the United States Congress and was the first woman ever to be elected. She was elected in Montana and then was re-elected again in 1940. Jeannette Rankin is one of the most brave and heroic people to have ever walked this earth. She stands for what she believes in and has made a huge impact in the rights of women. I would directly relate her to Rosa Parks by the means of standing up for what is right and earning rights that are not based on race or sex of a human being. It is because of women like her that our country has the rights that we do today. She has showed others that it doesn't really matter what has or has not been done before, but that anyone can do anything that they put their mind to, as well as straying from the beaten path that others have followed and make your own path, which will lead you to become one of America's truly finest leaders. Anybody can do anything with the right mindset and attitude. A quote from Jeannette Rankin says, "I may be the first woman Congress, but I will not be the last." With the right mindset in life, you can literally accomplish anything that you may dream of. Jeannette Rankin definitely showed us the ropes through her mindset on the equality of men and women. Jeannette Rankin tried many different careers before deciding to become a politician. She set her mind on becoming part of the Congress because she believed that the United States government lacked feminine participation. Her work in the Women's Suffrage Acts is what launched her career in the Congress. This is a major part of history, as she was the first woman to ever be a part of the Congress. Having a positive and determined attitude, much like Jeannette Rankin, will acquire you many accomplishments in life. Jeannette Rankin was not only become the first woman in Congress, but she did it at a time when many women still didn't even have the right to vote. But that did not stop her. The determined attitude that Jeannette Rankin upheld is what enabled her to obtain her dream of being on the Congress and becoming a role model for many women around the world, as she made a difference for the female gender. Standing up for what you believe in is something that truly comes from within and takes a lot of courage. Jeannette Rankin was a pacifist and stood strongly against the violence and war. She was against the United States entering World War I, but even though we still went into war, that didn't stop Jeannette Rankin from fighting for women's rights during the war. Even though she didn't support the fact that World War I was going on, she still pulled for the involvement of women through everything. After Jeannette Rankin's 2 years in office, she decided to focus more on her stand as a pacifist. She served as a delegate in the Women's International Conference for Peace in Switzerland, and also became an active member of the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom. As doing so, her enthusiasm for making peace rose to an all-time high. The bombing of Pearl Harbor could not even persuade Jeannette Rankin's passionate stand for anti-war, as she voted against going to war once again. There is no doubt about it that Jeannette Rankin stood strongly and courageously for what she believed in. Jeannette Rankin has taught others all around the world that conducting your own trail will lead to newer and better things. Like I said earlier, Jeannette Rankin was the only legislator to vote against both world wars. Even though everyone else voted one way, it did not stop her from standing up for what she thought was right and most important. Jeannette Rankin made her own path by being the one to stand for anti-war and fight for women's rights. Standing up for the rights of women when no one else had made her it makes her the most memorable politician, as well as setting the way for many more women in Congress. Many of the world's famous leaders did not become leaders because they followed in people in front of them. Leaders become leaders because they strive to accomplish things that haven't been done before, like Jeannette Rankin. She is a woman that has influenced people to follow their dreams and to not let their gender make a difference. She has paved the pathway for many people, like Barack Obama and many, many others, that gain the courage to put aside their race and gender to stand up for what they believe in. She has allowed people to follow in her footsteps and to create their own paths that will make their dreams become reality.